Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Victor Cruz. He is a first year, medical student. He's a second semester medical student at UAG who has nicely accepted my invitation to ask him a couple of questions. I figured that it'd be nice for y'all to meet another UAG student to see what his experiences are, and hopefully y'all can learn from the answers that he provides. Welcome, Victor.
Thank you for having us, Roxana.
Thank you for being here. So, I have my very first question, which is why UAG?
Sure. UAG was one of my many options when I started applying to med school. I applied to all the Puerto Rican schools here in Puerto Rico. There are about like four or five around those. And I also applied to UMHS in St. Kitts and UAG in Mexico. Basically, I learned about UAG because a lot of Puerto Rican students applied to it. I learned they actually went to my school. That's the University of Puerto Rico Rio Piedras campus. They actually do some like workshops. They come once a year, twice a year, and that's where I learned from them. So basically, I started like researching, talking to friends that already are in MS2 or MS3 or graduated already, and they told me about it. So I really considered it as an option, and so far I like it.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. Yeah, it was very interesting to see that there are a lot of Puerto Rican students, and which is great that UAG actually promotes themselves over there. For myself, I don't even know. My pre-med advisor in my postbac told me about it, so I'm really glad that you had the extra resource and information about that. Okay. So your second question is, well, right now because of COVID, how's online learning for you?
Well, it's not ideal, you know. I would really love to be in the classroom on a face-to-face basis with my doctors and professors, but learning medicine, it's not as easily as opening a book and like memorizing everything. You need the practice and stuff. But so far, it's been not difficult because it's online learning. It's pretty stressful sometimes, but you get used to it. At first it was a little bit difficult to get used to it, but then when you start like studying for the classes, like getting the hang of it, you kind of get used to it. But I don't know. I think we still need that as a face-to-face part, especially in medicine, because we have to treat patients, we have to see things firsthand, and it's something that a computer or a tablet cannot replace. But you can't like it's a pandemic. You can't go around it. So we're doing our part. We're studying still from a safe distance, and hopefully we'll see each other potentially soon.
Yes. Yeah, interesting note, everyone, is that Victor and I are friends, but we've never officially met in person due to COVID. I'm in California, he's in Puerto Rico, so it's interesting. It's definitely a new way of making friends and studying medicine. Well, on the note of online learning, you also take HMX courses, and I was wondering if you can tell us about your experience and if you find it manageable for balancing UAG medics courses with HMX courses.
For those who don't know, HMX is basically some kind of extracurricular classes you take with Harvard online. They give a lot of HMX courses. I started taking courses last semester. That's where I met you, basically. And the first semester, I took two courses. It was biochem. No, that's what.
Genetics.
Oh, I forgot. Genetics and
Physiology.
Physiology. Oh, that was a difficult one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty manageable. The thing about HMX, you get a class once a week, like online modules. And if you take on it really early on, if you don't like let it pass by along the weeks, it's pretty manageable. You can take 2 or 3 hours a day, or maybe finish it in 4 hours in one sitting, and you still have enough time to study all the things you need to study for your exams on the blog. So if you have the opportunity to do it, I say you do it, because I know it looks good on your CV. It's good information that helps eventually in the exams, especially the genetics one. It really helped me acing that exam when I took it on the first block. So yeah, I recommend it.
Wonderful. I'm glad. Yes, Victor's actually really good about his HMX schedule. And when I know that he's finished something, I'm like, okay, I need to finish mine as well. So props to you for that. And in terms of outside resources, I was wondering if you can tell us a little bit about that. What outside resources you use? I know that you just said that HMX helped you a little bit with your genetics exam at UAG. However, are there other outside resources that you use for school?
Yeah, I have Osmosis right now. You know, Osmosis is like a website, kind of like Netflix, that teaches you basic stuff from their classes, whether it's systems or biochemistry. It's pretty much like short videos with animations that really help you out. So if you're starting to know something you haven't studied yet, I think it's very recommendable that you buy Osmosis, because it breaks down the whole concept very simple and basic. And I also have RX blocks. I started using this block right now, and I started using it for GI. I didn't have like the hang of it, so I kind of like didn't use it well. But right now for endocrinology, it's the best investment I have done. Like I really love it, because it breaks the whole class part by part, and it explains every single detail. But it's not like a textbook. It goes. It's a simple. It's like a textbook, but it's simpler. So if you have the chance to buy RX and complement it with Osmosis, that's what I do, and it helps me very much. And also I use Anki, but that's pretty difficult to like use, because you have to constantly use Anki so it works, because it's for repetitive learning. And if you don't do it daily, it's not gonna like work out. And that's my problem. I don't use Anki daily.
No worries. Yeah. Same. I didn't use Anki. I started in first semester and then I quickly stopped. And then I'm actually in the process of trying to implement it into my studies right now. But I'm trying to do it in a way that it can be efficient and not just like creating cards for the system, but for myself. So I totally understand you. And yes, the RX articles are beautiful. They are very simple to read, and I like the pictures, and they have some flashcards in between sometimes, and like quizzes at the end, and yeah, I think and quizzes in the pictures as well, like if you wanted like see what they are. So I like that too, and I'm really glad that you have Osmosis. Osmosis videos seem really pretty and really like fun to watch and fun to like actually learn. So I think it's cool. I'm actually a little bit jealous, but I feel like I shouldn't buy more products, so I'm just gonna hold off. But I've been tempted before my third exam for GI. I was this close of buying it, because I was like, I need another thing, I need another resource. But anyway. So thank you for your input on that. I have another question for you. What are your current specialty interests? So now that we're done with your studying and at UAG, but how about yourself, Victor? Tell us a little bit about what you plan to do in the future.
Okay, my primary interest right now is pretty much oncology. From pretty much my bachelor's degree, I was really interested in cancer. I worked on cancer on different projects and investigations in my school. I also worked on that on my master's degree. I did a master's degree on environmental public health. And I don't know, something about cancer, it's a complicated and complex disease, but at the same time, it's so simple, it's cells reproducing. So I don't know, I kind of, there's something about it that's really intriguing to me. And as along we go with the blocks and the semesters, I'm mostly discarding specialties instead of accepting some. Like, we took cardio, that's a no for me. Then we took GI, I was like no for me. So right now we're taking endo. I'm pretty much considering a little bit because I really like it. I'm like getting the hang of it, and it's pretty interesting. So between endo and oncology right now. So that's it.
Wow. Wow, that's really cool. And that's really smart of you to just know what you like as you go along. Okay. Next question. Well, you kind of spoke about it a little bit, and you have a master's. So tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that. And what master's do you have, and why did you decide to get one?
Well, I have a master's in public health with specialty in environmental health. Basically, environmental health studies everything from a macro to a micro environment of how variables in the environment can affect human health. For example, a lot of people think it's about ecology and stuff like that. It's not about ecology. Basically, if you look at it at a micro environment, you can study how a person, where he lives or where he works, how can that affect his health. For example, a person that works on, I don't know, on a mine or a miner, there's a lot of variables that may affect that person to promote diseases such as cancer, stuff like that, or fibrosis. So, or a macro environment, basically like the climate. How does the climate affect the health of people? Whether it's directly through I don't know, a change in droughts or heat. People really get affected about those stuff, although it's not directly, but it still affects the quality of life, and that affects the health. And I got around to that because when I started applying to med school, I knew I wanted to do a public health degree eventually because I like public policy. I would like to be that doctor that doesn't just treat the person's symptoms and like send them home. I want to see the source of that illness. How can I prevent it so that person doesn't come back to my clinical practice?
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is take those knowledge from medicine, united with public health, and actually lobby public policy so people have a more safe and healthier life.
Wow, that sounds really nice. So would you recommend it to students?
Oh yeah, I did it before starting med school. If you're in med school right now, I recommend that you do it after med school. I think it's pretty pivotal that every med student or doctor has a basic knowledge about public health, because it's politics, it's epidemiology, especially now in a pandemic. You can see how public health measures really affect patients right now. So it's something really pivotal for every med student and doctor to have in their knowledge.
Wow. You're going to really motivate me to try to get one too then.
Yeah.
All right. So I think those are all of my questions that I had for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer these questions for me and for everyone on YouTube. And I was wondering if you have any maybe last remarks, anything you would like to tell anybody who's either in school or considering applying to UAG.
If you're considering applying to UAG, I really recommend doing it if you want to. Also, if you're a med student or starting right now med school, whether it's UAG or another school, I know it's difficult times, but I don't know, keep doing what you're doing. I know sometimes you can feel that you're not enough. I've had those feelings before while studying, like, what am I really doing here? But if you push through it, if you really love what you're doing, you really learn without your knowledge, really, because you're kind of suffering all the way through, but you're not noticing what you're really learning and catching up. And later on, you'll see it. So believe in yourself, and you can do it.
Yay. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I know that it will definitely help out anybody right now who needs to hear that. So I appreciate that. Alrighty then. Then with that, I will say goodbye, Victor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rosana.
Thank you.